to Rooted Vines. It's so good to see you again. Yes, I'm here. Please remember to like, subscribe, share, do what you got to do. I'd really appreciate it. I'm new to YouTube. As you can see, I don't have a lot of videos, but the stuff that I do cover, I believe is a powerhouse and it will change lives if that is what you are seeking to do. All right. So if you are new to this channel and you're seeing me for the first time, I am Mayaka Anderson. I am the owner of Rooted Vines, a holistic health and wellness emporium where I focus on aligning your mind, body, and spirit so that you can live a more harmonious life. And how do I do that? By offering products to start off on your self journey. All right. So here on this channel, basically, I talk about the beginning stages of changing your life, changing your mindset by what? Looking at self. I don't care what journey you want to start, whether it's a journey of diet, whether it's journey of relationships, I don't care what it is. It always begins with self. And until you deal with self, you're not going to get anywhere, right? So we just have to deal with ourselves and being honest with who we are, asking questions of how we got here, what we believe, why we believe certain things without any outside external forces, right? We have to sit with ourselves, sit in the stillness, right? Sit. It's very hard for some people. Very hard for some people to sit with self because then you got to hear self and the spirit start talking to you. And a lot of us don't live aren't doing all that we can to be the better selves, but instead we are mimicking what is being done on Facebook, what's being done on Instagram. We're mimicking people who say certain things work but they're lying, right? People who say, "Oh, I live my life this way and it's great." And maybe it is. But it doesn't mean that it's a path that you should be taking, right? And then some just lie about it. And with social media and all of that, you never know who's telling the truth. You never know who really has what they have. Now, I understand that you can work up to certain things, but there are people out here that make you believe or present. I don't want to say make you believe because they can't make you do nothing, but present a face to you as if they got it all, or they can teach you how to make six figures in 6 months, but they're not even there yet, right? I don't like that. Like, be honest with who you are, where you are, and it will come, but it can't come through dishonesty and deceit. So here I've been through the valley of death. I've been to the cliff and wanted to jump over. Okay. And I made it back not by my own works. I had to do work on me and in me, but the Most High did help me come to terms with who I truly am and deal with some things, some choices I made that had me that ended my path there. Like I found myself there because of these things that I would have never thought in a million years that these choices I made would end up there because other people were involved in these in certain reasons why I chose certain things. But the Most High doesn't care about anyone else. The Most High, when the Spirit deals with you, it deals with you alone. Your choices, your mindset. It's not asking you about John down the street. It's asking about you. So you have to be ready to come correct and with the answer. So today, I decided that I don't even, this just led right into it, right? I'm going to talk about how you identify good and bad fruit. So come on, come along with me and let's talk about this. Hopefully this will be shorter than last time. I was on a soapbox for my last talk, but it was good stuff and it needed to be said. All right, so let's get started on identifying good fruit versus bad fruit. And we're going to take a lot of the lessons from Proverbs, okay? All right, well, let's get started, family. Okay, Hey family, welcome back. Welcome back. Like I said, we're going to talk about good fruit versus bad fruit, or bad fruit versus good fruit, however you want to put it. And the lesson will mainly come from Proverbs. Okay, this is not a Bible study teaching, but this goes along with what I teach about dealing with yourself. Sometimes we have to look at the people that we surround ourselves with. And I don't mean just friends, I don't mean just coworkers, I don't mean just associates. I mean family as well. It's funny that people always say, hell's going to be full, or stuff like that, and they never think like somebody in your family might not make it. Like, we have to deal with the fact that our families, everybody in our family isn't just and isn't right. Okay. And that's just the reality of it all. Okay. And it's not judgment or pointing fingers, but we know that we do have some people in our family that, may not be someone we want to be around and that we have to love from afar. I know my sister always says, blood family, we have a blood family, but it really is about the family that you choose, because you can make your own family, right? Who is my mother? Who is my brother? Can you tell me that? Just because we are blood does not make us bound to each other, because of the different aspects of personalities and what people choose to do with their lives that doesn't necessarily line up with yours. And that's okay. It's okay. Sometimes it doesn't line up and it still works. But sometimes it doesn't line up and it's disastrous. And that's when you have to know to remove yourself from certain situations. So as we talk about this topic, it's vital that we understand it's about us, the personal growth and decision making. It's not about anyone else. I deal with self. So when we're dealing with self, make sure you're not sitting there saying, well, that can't be true because so and so. I don't want to hear about so and so. The Most High didn't want to hear about so and so when he dealt with me. It is about you and your decision making. Okay. So I want you to really understand that. We are going to be delving into Proverbs just a little bit so that we can understand what good fruit is and what bad fruit is, because a lot of us are taking some advice from some people that are dropping bad fruit everywhere, and you can see it in the lives that they live. But maybe because who they are, maybe because of their status, people just overlook certain things and start to say, well, they can't be that bad, right? We can't judge. Yes, we can judge because it affects our lives. If you do not judge what is good, what is working, what is showing up good, then your life is in danger. Your dreams could be compromised because you're allowing people to come in that don't have any good intentions for you. And that's just the bottom line. There are people in this realm, they know their assignment and it is not good. And then we got a lot of people who have great assignments and can't remember because they're off chasing someone else's dream. So let's first just talk about what the book of Proverbs is all about, okay? Because it's a treasure trove of wisdom and guidance. All right? Wisdom and guidance. Something we should be always praying for. It offers insights for leading a wise and a righteous life. And when I say a righteous life, I personally, it's a life where you do no harm to anyone else, including yourself. You recognize nature, you recognize your gifts and your talents, you do your work, you are aligned with who you are, and you are coming into your own and learning your lessons, and you're moving up levels. So you'll notice that in Proverbs often it uses a lot of metaphors. I am not a good metaphor person. When I was going through my darkness, my before it began, I had a dream, a prophetic dream. And I don't, let me tell you right now, I don't have prophetic dreams. I do not. I'm not that person. But this dream was prophetic before everything in my life crumbled. Had I known what the dream I dreamt really meant, I would have been better prepared, but I didn't know. And so when I went through that, I was very angry with the Most High. Oh, I had some choice words for the divine spirit. because the metaphors, why can't you just speak to me? Why can't it just be plain? But there's reasons for everything. And what I had to go through so that I can get and be the person that I am today. Had I had seen it and understood it beforehand, oh, I wouldn't have chose that route, honey. Oh, there absolutely. I just would have had to be in that darkness. No, ma'am. I would have not chose that. It was the hardest thing that I've ever been put in my entire life, and I truly did not believe that I was going to make it out. So these metaphors, I'm not in favor of them, but if you are able to decipher them and to understand them, they really do work. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to read the verse in Proverbs chapter 11:30. Okay. So turn with me in your Bibles. Okay. And it says, the fruit of the righteous is a tree of life, and he that winneth souls is wise. All right. So the fruit of the righteous is a tree of life. So the person that you deal with in your circles, no matter who it is, should be someone who is life giving, someone who can pour into others' lives, someone where they come in, your life is enhanced. And hopefully you are enhancing their life. But usually people like that, they can see if you're not that type of person. And they will slowly back out and bow out gracefully, right? But someone who comes into your life, and this is very important for those who are looking for a relationship. If you're looking for a husband, you're looking for a wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, it is important that they are a tree of life. They are able and willing to pour into you that which you need. And you are able to do the same and not just take their life source, right? But you're able to complement each other as you go through this life. And so it also says, and he that winneth souls is wise. It means that what I do is good and that you see it and you start to change your life for you accordingly. Right? It's a mirror for mirror type thing. Because I always say, I am you and you are me. If I am upset or I'm jealous or I got some angst against you, it's not that it's against you, it's against me. I need to find out what in the world is going on with me that I feel this way about you. Is it that I wish I had those aspects of you? What is it? Or is it that I see the stuff that you're doing and I do it too? And I don't like that you're trying to do it to me, but it's okay if you do it to someone else and I do it to someone else. Everything is a reflection of you. So I always tell people, you can tell how people usually live their lives by the people they hang around and by their environment. And I know you can say, well, there's homeless people, there's this and that. That's fine. And it doesn't make them bad people. It means that they have made some choices down the line that did not favor them. And they didn't do the work within themselves. And somehow there was some shortcuts. Now, there are some people who just choose to live off the grid. And those people are like my heroes. For you to decide that you're just not going to play a part in the governmental society, in the roles that have been dictated for years, to me, that's a blessing that you're able to do that. I wish I was that strong. I'm not, but one day we're all going to have to be that strong because that's how this society is going. Anyways, so we got we got that out. In the verse, the fruit of the righteous symbolizes the positive outcomes and the blessings that come from living wisely and righteously, right? It's the fruit, it's the positive outcome of making those choices, right? And also walking the action out to get to the blessings. If you are not willing to do the work, you're not going to get what you feel is just and due to you. No one is out here just handing out things. You must be in the right position to receive what it is you are looking for. So when we identify this good fruit, we need to find out, well, what is good fruit, right? People always, well, what is good fruit? And everybody has certain excuses about, well, you can tweak it this way, you can tweak it. that way. But you know what? The truth is the truth. And the truth does not move for anyone. I don't care who you are. It won't move for me. It won't move for the Most High, for He is the truth. The truth is the truth. There's not a little, there's not a lot, there's not, it stands alone. It doesn't need no explanation. It don't need your help. The truth is the truth. So good fruit can be seen in relationships, in actions, and the decisions that we make. And so we're going to go to Proverbs 3:13 through 18. All right, y'all. I hope y'all got your Bibles out. Maybe I should have said get your Bibles out. 3 3:13 through 18, I believe it is. 3:13 through 18. So this is what it says. Starting at verse 13, read along with me, won't you? Happy is the man that findeth wisdom, and the man that getteth understanding. For the merchandise of it is better than the merchandise of silver, and the gain thereof than fine gold. She is more precious than rubies, and all the things thou can desire are not to be compared unto her. Length of days is her right hand, and her left hand riches and honor. Her ways are ways of pleasantness, and all her paths are peace. She is a tree of life. There's that life again. To them that lay hold upon her, and happy is everyone that retaineth her. Let's break this down right now. Oh, I don't want to have to go to church on you, so I'm going to keep it. Happy is the man that finds wisdom, in the man that gets the understanding. All right. So you must be able to have wisdom and understanding of that wisdom. And through this, riches and honor automatically is added on, because the wisdom and the understanding is more valuable than the gold and the rubies. You see what I'm saying? Understanding and having wisdom in this world, making those right decisions, will always lead you to riches and honor. You don't have to chase it, but you do have to pray for the wisdom and the understanding and the knowledge of how to apply those things so that you can get to where you want to get to. When you get there, because you used wisdom and because you understood, the riches is already there. And it's pleasantness and peace if you get there. And there's no pleasantness and there's no peace in what you got, and you are fighting to sustain, to keep these monetary, material things, you did something wrong. Because whatever the Most High gives you, it is yours. And if for some reason the Most High takes it away, He has something better in store for you. So the length of days in your right hand, the length of days, that means the long life that you shall live. And the left hand is your riches and your honor. A tree of life that may hold upon her, and happy everyone that retaineth her. When it speaks of her, it speaks of wisdom. Wisdom is a her in the book. Okay? It is her in the book. And she is more precious than rubies and all the things that you could ever desire. In that, we have to find out, are we using wisdom? Are we seeking out wisdom? Are we trying to understand? Or are we always about what we want, what we perceive, what we think? A lot of us, I know, as I was a single mom and all of that, I didn't have a counsel of wisdom. My children do. They have me, they have my husband, they have their grandparents, they have aunties and uncles, and they use none of the wisdom. There's a whole council that you can call up at any time, and nobody wants to use the wisdom. They don't want to come to the table because they want to see things their way. They want to try it, do it their way. And they want to prove something to someone, and we don't really care. Like, who are you trying to prove this to? We are still learning our own lessons. We're still in this game. Because we are older does not mean that we stop learning, that the lessons stop coming. So we don't have time to look at you and be like, oh, you ain't did that, you ain't did. We are still trying to make it where we are. And if we had someone to go to and talk to get wisdom, we would. I finally have a good footing with my mom and dad. So I do call. Now that I have that, I'm older now and I got it. I wish I had it when my kids were younger, but I have it now and I take full advantage of the wisdom that has been placed before me because I know that they have seen some things. They've been through some things. And if they can help deter me from going down that route, if they can help me from jumping off that ledge, yes, I'm going to go there. And I know a lot of people, they feel, and age doesn't really matter because there are some young wise people out here, but you definitely want to make sure where your wisdom is coming from. And when you receive your wisdom, make sure you pray on it, because although they give you the wisdom, not all of it is for you. Not all of it will fit you. This is not a unisex. This is not a one size fits all type of lesson when you deal with life. So they will give you your input, and your job is to go and pray and meditate about that thing so that you can pick out the pieces that you need at that time to help you get through what you want to get through. So you must understand that. But on the flip side, we got this bad fruit. We got this bad fruit out here. What is the bad what is the bad fruit? Because it's a lot. Whew, we got a lot of bad fruit. And bad fruit may manifest as negative consequences, as a lot of us know, and unwise choices and actions. Let me tell you something about this. A lot of people will follow other people and they'll follow their advice without looking at what type of life they live, without looking at the type of advice that they're giving, and not looking at where those choices will lead you. And I'm going to give you an example, and it's not like a life changing example, but Instagram, they were talking about, oh, start an LLC. You want to start an LLC this, y'all know what I'm talking about, right? Y'all know it. I was living in San Diego County at the time, and I was like, okay, we're going to start a business. We're going to do an LLC. And so I blindly just signed up, got an LLC, whatever. What I did not know is that California hits you with an $800 tax that you got to pay every year on this LLC. I was not prepared for that. I had never even heard that. I didn't do my homework. I took what people were saying on Instagram and ran with it. You ain't got to tell me that no more. Anytime I hear anything, I'm flipping books, I'm researching, I have to do my due diligence because I did not. I thought these people were wise. I thought they knew what they were talking about. I thought that every state was the same, but honey, it's not. I wrote them people and said, honey, I made a mistake. Please take this back. They did. Cause I was like, I didn't know all that. I didn't know all that. I wasn't ready for that. So when we deal with negative consequences, or we deal with people unwise choices and actions, and it was all on me. It wasn't that they weren't saying what is true, but they were just staying on the surface. And I was taking it as if they were going deeper. So I made a choice, and then I had to pay the consequence. I couldn't go to them and be like, look, you got to pay this bill because you didn't tell me whatever. That was my problem. That was my issue. That information was bad fruit based on what I heard in me, because I didn't do the deeper work. So not the onus wasn't on them, but it was on me. And so that was just an example that I could give you about, us chasing other people's wisdom without knowing them, without seeing the type of life they live. Anybody can make one corner of a room look really good and say that I'm making $1 million every month and I can show you how. I need to see what you're doing. I need more proof than your words, because words these days are not anybody's bonds. They speak and they mean nothing. So as we continue this on, let's go to Proverbs 13:11. All right, let's go on and do this 13:11 thing. Uh Wealth. Okay, this is chapter 13, verse 11. It says, wealth gotten by vanity shall be diminished, but he that gathereth by labor shall increase. Now, let me tell y'all something about this. because we are a very vain society. And as you can see, a lot of people, and let me tell you, vanity, bad choices, bad fruit, it doesn't mean that they can't upkeep their what do you want to call it, their facade up long. Sometimes they can keep it up for years, but eventually it will all come crumbling down like a deck of cards. And there are tons of celebrities, tons of sports stars, tons of news anchors, tons of doctors, lawyers who have had that life, right? Have had that life, but because of vanity, their life has faltered. Some quicker than others, some longer than others. But either way, that karma gonna come back and get you. You can't outrun the karma. Whatever you pay out, you gonna get. Okay? Whatever you invest in is coming back to see you. Have a seat, baby. Let's have a talk. Because that's just how it works. So dishonest money dwindling away encourages us to gather money wisely. So, yes, it does take some time. Not all the time. Sometimes you have a really good idea and that stuff just pops off, but you did the legwork. Too many of us are trying to use our looks, which will diminish. You got people doing these surgeries, messing up their bodies. And some of the people are so young, you don't know how your body, how it messed up the development that could have been for the future, because your body is still developing even in 20s, especially for women. Your body is changing, and we're doing all of these experimental or whatever procedures. And now you see some of these like actresses that were beautiful, I mean just gifted with beauty, who have done some crazy stuff to their face, and now they're getting old and it looks, I don't know, it ain't looking right. But but I just, let me get off that subject. Let me get off that subject. Y'all, I'm just talking and talking, and I ain't, I hope Canva lets me upload this. Anyways, so when we're dealing with bad fruits, and we're talking about money and gathering money wisely, sometimes gathering money, sometimes we want to be there so bad, so fast, that we'll do anything. And the truth is that it will just slip through your fingers. And while that money slips through your fingers, other things go with it. Okay. So we want to be able to be steadfast, again, have a vision and a goal, and to do put your steps in order. Don't get caught out here with your pants down. Okay, the old folks saying, don't get caught out here with your pants down, honey. All right, because life will whoop that behind. It will get you. So we also want to talk about discernment, and discernment is a powerful ability to judge and evaluate situation wisely. Women have this gift big time, and yet they shut it out. Discernment. Women know what's going on, and we fool ourselves. We are bad fruit amongst ourselves because we will lie to ourselves. We will cheat on ourselves. We will blind ourselves purposely so that we don't see the truth because we don't want to be hurt by it. But discernment is a powerful tool to be used. It plays a crucial role in helping us distinguish bad and good fruit. You got the feeling, you know what it is, and yet you will still allow it to drop these rotten apples in your yard and let it tell you, oh, it's okay, it's okay, we're feeding the worms, we're feeding the birds, whatever line it is that's gonna make you feel okay with dealing with the bad fruit and oppressing your discernment, your natural gift. So in this, in Proverbs 2 and 6 tells us that wisdom and understanding comes from the Most High, aiding our discernment. You're getting the information from the supply, the infinite supply, and it aids in our discernment so that we can tell what is good and what is bad. And yet and still we choose to ignore and walk around blind. We choose that. So now let's just say that you needed to decide between two courses of action, 1 and 2. Which one is going to lead to good fruit? Which one is going to lead to bad? So, what you want to do is take a moment to reflect on your own decisions and actions. Consider whether they lead to good or bad fruit. Again, in the last video, I said, I tell my kids, walk your choices down as far as you can see them. If you can pay the consequence, go for it. If you cannot, walk that thing back and make a different choice. Okay. Sometimes it might not even be the two choices that are presented. There might be a third hidden choice that you haven't contemplated, because you haven't went to the council. All right. The council of wisdom. For you guys that do not have a council, I know what that means when you just have no one to turn to. But let me tell you, the Most High is always there. And if you ask, if you're seeking and you're knocking, that information will come to you. So do not feel like you can't make it because you don't have a wise counsel. You do have a wise counsel, and your ancestors are always there also to help you make those right choices. All right. So to discern those good and bad fruit. So we want to just emphasize the value of wisdom and righteous choices. I want you to actively seek wisdom. Always, my dad always said, pray for wisdom, um, knowledge, and understanding. Always pray for those three things to be on your mind. Meditate on those things so that you can actually see the good and bad fruit in others, but see when your fruit ain't so good. Or is it good? Right? So remember, your choices have the power to shape your reality, lead to personal growth, honey, and positive outcomes. So this was a shorter lesson today. I hope that you got something out of it. I didn't go too deep. I'm really trying to learn to cut these short. I don't know, y'all. Uh, but I just want to say that we do have the power to see more than what people put in front of us. Those gut feelings, that discernment, that is no joke. That is real. When you feel it, when you sense something just ain't right, honey, you're dead on. Do not second guess yourself. Do not let people say, oh, you crazy. You're not crazy, right? You are not crazy. You know what it is. Let's stop lying to ourselves. Let's stop pretending. We're out here breaking our own hearts in tears, in bed, depressed, head under the covers, eating tons of ice cream, all because of decisions that we made. We made and we're upset, not just because the person did us wrong, but because we allowed them to do us wrong. And we knew better. And yet we kept walking that line like something was going to change. Things do not change if you don't change them. You are the catalyst to your dreams, to everything that happens. If you're waiting for someone else to change so that your life can get better, honey, it ain't never coming. You have to make the decision. You have to learn to say no. You have to learn to say goodbye. It's okay. Time heals things. I know it's not easy. I know it's painful. I've dropped many a tears, heart totally broken and reached out. Okay? I know what it is to be in those situations. But I do know that life goes on. Time heals all things. And when you deal with yourself, you end up living the life that you've always dreamed. You get that job that you want. You meet that love of your life that loves you to death. So be strong in knowing that it's okay. Change for the better. Change for you because no one else is going to do that. And no one else is going to come in your life and rescue you. You are your own hero. You are Superman, Superwoman, whatever you want to, that's you. So let's go on and put on the cape and do the work. All right, you guys. So I will see you again Sunday at 6. Please make sure you like, share, subscribe to this channel. Please comment any type of comments. Just let me know that you're here and you're watching, and I appreciate it. You guys have a beautiful start of your week. And again, oh yes, whatever you are seeking in this life, I pray that it is seeking you also. Make sure that you say thank you in advance for all that you want and all of your desires. Ta-ta.